Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. In today's video I want to give you some fragrance recommendations for this transitional period between late summer, early autumn. I feel like now is the time when or like where a lot of people don't really want to pull out their heavy hitters, but they don't want to use their summery fragrances as well. So I was thinking to come up with few pieces of recommendation that I think you might enjoy. Now these are some more summery fragrances and I will give you some layering ideas to make them more suitable for the colder months. Others are, actually you will see. I said to myself that I won't give you any more spoilers, so let's just start. By the way, before I start, if you have any recommendations of fragrances for this transitional period, please leave all your recommendations down below. Okay, so I want to start with a fragrance that typically the DNA itself, I feel like it's more for warm weather because it's very fruity, it's very sweet, it's very girly, it's very feminine. But I feel like this fragrance in particular, because of the base that it has, I feel like you could wear it for sure during the early autumn, especially when you want to remember summer or maybe, I don't know. So the first fragrance is called Jasmine Wisp from Rasasi. This is a fragrance that if you have been watching my videos for a while, I think you heard me talk about this fragrance quite a lot. I love it, I use it. I think you could wear this fragrance all year round, especially if you live in places where it's hotter all year, but I feel like on really warm autumn days you could wear this fragrance as well. So basically this fragrance, in case you haven't tried it, this is in the Erba Pura Kirke scent family and it smells beautiful. Like, this fragrance puts a smile on my face. I love how it smells. It's so happy, it's so uplifting, it's so sweet, so warm, so fruity. You have here basically this beautiful creamy tropical fruity accord with some sweet citruses in the opening that sit on a base. Basically this fruity accord will remind you of other fragrances inspired by Erba Pura, but this one sits on a much denser base, on a vanillic ambery base, so it's much denser, much rounder, much fuller. I also feel like it's a bit more complex and overall it's a heavier fragrance than, for instance, the OG Erba Pura, than, I don't know, Oud White, you know, than Little Hearts. I feel like on its own it's a much heavier fragrance, a more robust fragrance because of the denser base. It's beautiful, it's sweet, I love it. I find it very feminine, very girly, very uplifting, very happy. This is the kind of fragrance that you don't have to think twice about when you reach for it, you know. Now I have a layering suggestion for you, not just with this fragrance but with any fragrances in the same scent family. So basically Erba Pura, Kirke, Oud White, I Am the Queen, Anna Malika, I think it's called. What else? Little Hearts. Basically, every fragrance inspired by these two fragrances. If you want to layer it with something and you don't want, oh, Amber Oud Gold, of course, from Al Haramain. It's a staple in the fragrance community. So if you want to layer these types of fragrances with a body lotion or with something, you want to make it more long lasting, let's just say, but you don't want to change the scent, like the scent itself, too much, then I would advise you to look up this product here. This is a body gel. This is in the scent Little Heart and this is from Ahmed El Maghribi. I have it here in the 30 ml. Now this product is quite interesting, you guys. I feel like it's a fusion between, it's not really a body lotion because it doesn't, how to say, it doesn't hydrate your skin. It's more of a silicone gel like, but it's highly scented, you guys. The scent of this one is so strong, you don't need a lot. A little bit goes a very long way because, like I said, it has this like silicone texture, so it spreads really well on your skin. Now the only downside is that perhaps I would have preferred this one in a body lotion to hydrate a little bit the skin, but you can use let's just say other products on top of it. So yeah, this smells just like Erba Pura, Kirke smells. Basically, if you have tried Little Hearts from Ahmed El Maghribi, same DNA as Erba Pura, same DNA as Kirke, I mean like a fusion between the two, but I feel like Little Hearts is a bit more sweet, the vanilla shines more, the musky there shines more, but you also have the fruits, but some like red fruity facets sprinkled there within the mix. So yeah, this is the consistency. Honestly, I don't know if you can see it because it's like a transparent gel. Very beautiful product to have. And yeah, I wanted to showcase some light on it because I know not a lot of people know about these types of products and they are so versatile to have in your collection if you love layering, especially if you want a body lotion. Like I said, in this scent family, check out this one. You can find it on its own, I feel like, but you can also find it in sets with the fragrance, with Little Hearts. It's very affordable. Let me make the conversion in my mind. Around 25 to 30, no, below 30 euros for both the body gel and the fragrance. 25, 20, 25, something like this, let's say. Okay, so this was my first recommendation. I feel like these types of fragrances would work very well, like I said, late summer, early autumn. Perhaps it's very hot outside, perhaps you don't want to pull out your spicy fragrances, even though when it comes to me, I cannot wait to pull out my heavy spicy fragrances. I cannot wait to wear red tobacco. I miss wearing that fragrance so much. And if you ask yourself why I was not wearing it during the summer, I feel like in the summer that fragrance, basically the fragrance has a slight green facet, a slight green undertone. It has there quite a prominent patchouli facet that from time to time can make the tobacco feel damp a little bit. Of course, with the sweetness, with the spices, with everything else. But I feel like in high, like really high heat, the green part kind of overpowers the fragrance a little bit. And I'm not really the biggest fan of green fragrances, so I feel like that fragrance definitely shines better in colder months. I don't know why I started to talk about that fragrance. It's not even the topic for today's video, so let's just move on to the next fragrances. Okay, so next I want to continue with some softer gourmands that you could wear during this time and they would really shine, especially since this one that I will talk about in a second, it's not really a heavy fragrance, so I feel like during winter or like really cold days of autumn, might not face, you know, the colder temperatures, but I feel like during this time it shines a lot. The fragrance is called Nebras by Lattafa. This is from the Pride series. I have here the 20 ml travel spray and I love to wear it. Honestly, I don't wear it a lot on its own because on its own, for my liking, it's more of a simplistic fragrance. I prefer fragrances that are a bit heavier, a bit more complex, you know, the whole shebang. But I feel like this one layered with other fragrances, oh my god, this smells so good, you guys. So good. Someone asked me if I could do a layering video for the autumn season and I'm working on that, so I will give you more layering ideas with this fragrance in that video. So yeah, now how this one smells like. Basically, to me, this is a soft gourmand. This is a soft, feminine, elegant type of gourmand. Not too sickly sweet, but it kind of smells edible, but again, like a smart edible, you know, you don't smell like straight up a box of cookies or anything, even though I think there's nothing wrong with smelling like a box of cookies if that's what you want, of course. Now this one, see, I feel like as this one got to sit, I don't get the minty feel as much. So basically this opens up with a beautiful soft, but the softest minty facet with something very creamy, lactonic like, and you sprinkle some like dark dry cocoa powder on top, you know. This one reminds me quite a bit of Choco Mask from Absolue. It also reminds me of a fragrance from Montal. It reminds me a bit of chocolate greedy from Montal. So if you're a fan of this kind of fragrances, I think you will really enjoy this one. Keep in mind it's not a beast mode, but at the same time it works amazing layered with other fragrances. Oh my god. Because it just adds this beautiful muted, sweet, creamy cocoa powder feel, you know. It just adds, I feel like it adds a slight creaminess, a slight lactonic facet to the certain fragrances. It also adds a slight complexity, you know, to other gourmand fragrances. Yeah, beautiful fragrance on its own. Again, very feminine, very delicate. It has something intimate about it. Don't expect this fragrance to project like crazy. Don't expect this fragrance to last like crazy. I feel like if you want fragrances that last very long in this scent family, then Chocolate Greedy from Moattar is a better option for you. But that one also is very strong. So I feel like if you're sensitive to heavy fragrances in warm weather, I don't know if it will be for everyone, but this one I can see how someone might not enjoy this fragrance. Honestly, there's not much to not enjoy about this fragrance, if you know what I mean. Now, speaking of layering ideas and gourmand fragrances, I want to give you a layering suggestion. So basically, the fragrance that I have been layering Nebras with is called Sacred Palace from Pafumane. Now, this one was kindly sent to me by the brand a few months ago. You guys, this fragrance, again, it takes, first of all, I love it. It's my kind of scent, you know, it's the kind of scent family that I love. It's a beautiful, decadent fragrance. It's not too much. This is why I decided to include it in today's video. Basically, if you have this one, try to layer it with Nebras by Lattafa, or if you don't have this one, I will give you an alternative in a second. But if you have this one, you guys, or if you are interested in trying out this one, let me just spray it on my skin. Basically, this opens up with a burst of sweet citruses. I feel like the same sweet citruses that you have in Tresor La Nuit from Lancome, same vibe, with a slight tropical fruity feel in the background, with a beautiful rose feel in the background. The rose is red, is sweet, is gourmand leaning, doesn't have any green undertones to it. And as this one starts to develop, basically you have the same rose accord. I feel like in the heart, that's when it truly gets a chance to shine. But as it starts to develop, the sweet citruses completely fade away. That like tropical fruity facet fades away. The rose accord opens up even more, and now it gets to have a lactonic undertone. And you also have this like caramelly feel that starts to shine a lot, you guys. This fragrance smells so delicious. If you love fragrances like Tresor La Nuit or other fragrances in that same scent family, and if you love fragrances like Shaghaf from Swiss Arabian, I feel like this takes a little bit from both without being a dupe or an inspiration of either the two, with a dry down of its own. I hope it made sense. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And as it gets closer to the dry down, I feel like that lactonic accord shines even more. The rose slowly moves into the background, it's still there, it's still sweet. You still have that like gourmand leaning red rose with something vanillic, with something caramel-like. But how to explain it? It's almost like you melt some like caramel into a glass of cold milk, you know? I feel like this is the way the lactonic accord smells like on my skin. And you start to get the softest woody feel in the background, but like a pinch of that, you know. So yeah, if you have this fragrance in your collection, please layer it with Nebras. What Nebras adds, or what it amplifies, actually, is the lactonic feel, and it also has this beautiful cocoa powder undertone, let's say, that complements this fragrance very well. Now, if you don't have this fragrance, or if you, by the way, please don't blind buy fragrances, okay? Please test them for yourself. Look for samples, look for decants on different Facebook groups, you know, where you know you find samples and decants. Please look for those. Don't blind buy fragrances, okay? So in case you don't have this fragrance, I have an alternative for you that, even though it doesn't smell that similar, but I feel like it layers amazing with Nebras. Now this is a fragrance that I know a lot of you have it and love it. This is from the house of Pafumane, and the fragrance is called Modest D'Eau for Women. I don't have the fragrance, I mean I still have the bottle, but the bottle is empty. So yeah. But in case you have that fragrance, please layer it with Nebras. Again, those two together, they work amazing. Nebras, Choco Mask, Chocolate Greedy, these types of scent families together, they pair amazing. Now, in case you haven't tried or heard of Modest D'Eau from Afnan, that I feel like is a more sensual, more mysterious, and more elevated take on Tresor La Nuit from Lancome. But honestly, I don't want to talk about that fragrance too much, because I feel like if you watch my videos, I'm kind of certain you've heard me at least once talk about that fragrance. So let's just move on to the other fragrances, okay? Now, this next fragrance is a vanilla forward fragrance. Again, one of my favorite fragrances. The thing is, why I keep mentioning some fragrances again and again is because I genuinely think they're worth it. And when it comes to vanillas, honestly, this is one of the best that I've tried, and I love it. This is called Moattar Dhahab for Women from Junaid Perfumes. You know my love for the brand, and no guys, I'm not sponsored by them to talk about their fragrances. Honestly, I wish I was. This fragrance is all about vanilla, but it's a more decadent vanilla. I feel like it's a more robust, full-bodied vanilla. It's not your cupcake like vanilla. And also, can you see the beautiful sparkling pigments it has? I love to look at the fragrance, honestly, and I love to apply it on my skin. Now, the trick with this fragrance, honestly, the more it sits, the richer it gets. You know me, like usually I prefer to talk about fragrances, like I prefer to try fragrances here with you on YouTube, but I'm not the biggest fan of blind buying, you know. I prefer to test fragrances prior, and this is what I advise you to do as well. So I got a sample of that fragrance, smelled amazing. I got this fragrance, smelled just as beautiful, but I feel like it lacked the depth of the other fragrance from the sample, you know. But now I have this one in my collection. I'm not really good with time, but I have it for a while now, and it gets richer and richer and warmer and denser and thicker. Basically, the scent itself, I feel like, doesn't change that much. It's just the depth, you know. It gets it gets to have more depth, you know? Yeah, beautiful. If you love Kayali's Vanilla 28, but let's just say you're looking for a more affordable vanilla forward fragrance, because this is all about vanilla. Vanilla is the star of the show, honestly. But again, please keep in mind, it's not like a cupcake vanilla, it's not like a powdery vanilla, it's not like a baking type of vanilla. This is like a full-bodied, rich vanilla. You know, it has a little bit, it has like something from a vanilla pod without fully going in that direction, you know. So yeah, this, yeah, amazing, honestly. And you can use it legit with any other fragrance that you have in your collection. You could use it on its own. The trick with this fragrance, in my opinion, is when someone smells it on your skin, let's say not necessarily on clothes. On clothes, yes, it smells very beautiful as well, but I feel like the true beauty of this fragrance is when it gets to be in contact like with the warmth of your skin. And let's just say maybe you go on a date night with your partner or with your lover or with whoever you want, and let's just say that person leans in maybe to hug you, you know, and they smell it here on your neck, or maybe, I don't know, on your arm perhaps, I don't know, somewhere they smell it. That's the beauty of the fragrance, when it's smelled on a woman's skin. I feel like I recommend you this one because it's sweeter, but you can also get the one for men. I had amazing feedback. The majority of the feedback was amazing from people who bought this fragrance based on my recommendation. So this is why I keep recommending it, because I know I love it, but you also love it. So yeah, this means something to me, you know. Now yeah, oh, something I wanted to add. If you are based in Europe, you can find Junaid Perfumes on Anabis, I think. You can find Junaid Perfumes on Erada Perfumes. I will leave a few websites down below if I don't forget. If you're in Romania, you can also find it on Mara Perfumes. If you are based in, of course, in the Middle East, you can find it everywhere. If you are based in North America, you can find it on the official distributor's website of Junaid Perfumes, Fragrance Arabia. And they also gave my audience a discount code, which is this one here on the screen. I think it's fragrance 15 if I remember correctly, and feel free to use it if you want 15% off, but it applies on orders above $70. So yeah, as a reference, if you want to shop some Junaid fragrances this upcoming cold season, like autumn winter, this one highly recommend. There was another one that I love, but it's not in production anymore, Shaghaf Gold, so let's just forget about that one. Also Garam, if you love really beautiful spicy plummy tobacco scents with honey, it's a beautiful one. I have a review for that one, so feel free to check it out. Badia Gold, if you want a beautiful and decadent rosewood combo. What else? If you want something for men that's very fresh, very masculine, slightly ozonic, cold, mineral type of fragrance, but also like a deep marine freshness, but also with the deep marine freshness, look up Ocean Musk, I think it's called, or Oceanic, Ocean Musk, I feel like. What else out of my mind? Yeah, these are the ones that stood out to me the most, let's just say, even though there are a lot. And there are a lot that I haven't tried yet, unfortunately, but hopefully I will get to try them all. So yes, this was my vanilla recommendation. Now let's move on to my other somewhat of gourmand fragrances. So I have here two decants that I have been using. These decants were kindly sent to me by Dubai Collection. First of all, okay, so I have here Oud Satin from the Ministry of Oud, and I have Forbidden Sugar. Which one I want to talk about first? Okay, let's talk about the one with the robes. Now, this is not true gourmand, you know, it's not like an edible gourmand, but this is a beautiful, luxurious and sophisticated take on Oud Satin Mood from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Look, if you love these kind of fragrances, if you love Oud Satin Mood, or if you love L'Extase Rose Absolue from Nina Ricci, but let's just say you cannot find L'Extase Rose Absolue and you don't want to spend the money on the fragrance from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, I would highly suggest you to try this fragrance. Now I have a video where I compare this fragrance with Bara Satin Oud and Satin Lux, all three from Paris Corner. All three names kind of hard to remember. So if you're interested in this kind of scent family, please watch this video over here. There I go in depth about the similarities, about the differences. Basically I touch, I think, on every aspect. Okay, so feel free to watch that video. But now back to this fragrance. You have here beautiful pink rose accord that's quite dense, it's quite rich, again without any greenness. You have here powdery facets. if you're not a fan of powdery fragrances, be aware, sometimes the powderiness can be a bit too much. Now look, I'm not the biggest fan of powderiness in fragrances, but I don't mind the level, because it's balanced by the rose, by the candied violet, by the warmth and the density and the richness that comes from the benzoin or like the amber accord that they used. Beautiful fragrance. I feel like it's more rosy than resinous, you know, especially in its sillage. It smells like baby powder, you know, the pink sensitive baby powder from Johnson & Johnson, and pink roses. So yeah, I love it, you guys. I love it. It's so beautiful, so like voluptuous, you know, so like feminine, so sensual. So yeah, amazing fragrance, amazing fragrance. And again, I think now it will shine more, like summer nights, you know, early autumn. Like if you live in places where in winter it gets to be like, I don't know, like minus 10, 15 degrees Celsius. I don't know if this is the kind of fragrance that can face those kind of temperatures, but I feel like, again, now, not late spring, late summer, early autumn, you know, or even that like transition period between autumn to winter, this is the kind of fragrance that will shine a lot during this time. Now, speaking of fragrances from Paris Corner, I have another recommendation for you. I feel like this one, in the warm weather, for a lot of people, it could have been too much. For me, it wasn't. I wore it in warm weather as well. Loved it. But I feel like summer nights, like, again, I don't want to repeat myself. So like summer nights, early autumn, you know, this kind of feel, or like autumn to late autumn, let's just say. This is Forbidden Sugar, and this is a very unique fragrance, you guys. It reminds me of other fragrances without being fully a dupe to any of those. Basically, to me, in the opening, it smells purple, but it smells purple like how Alien smells like, in a sense, you know. Maybe it's the jasmine, because the jasmine in the opening, it's quite cold and chilly. So it smells like lots of jasmine, that like alien like jasmine with something purple. Maybe I don't know if it has listed, but I'm assuming it has something like candied violet, because you do have this sweet candied like purple feel as well, with something honeyed like in the background with a touch of patchouli. This is beautiful gourmand fragrance. Again, it somehow reminds me of Alien with a little bit of Scandale by Jean-Paul Gaultier. You know, I feel like if you were to imagine how these two fragrances would combine, I feel like you should get something similar to Forbidden Sugar, even though I know this is supposed to be an inspiration of a fragrance from Frank Beauclerc, Sugar or Cocaine, but not Sugar, I think Sugar, not Cocaine. Yeah, I think Sugar. Again, I have a video where I go in depth about this fragrance. I don't want to spend too much time on this fragrance. I love it, it's amazing. This one to me is more that like naughty, out there, you know, like attention grabbing type of fragrance. Yeah, that's the fragrance. I'm telling you, if you love the jasmine that you have in Alien, if you love the smell of candied violets, if you love the honey feel that you have in Scandale by Jean-Paul Gaultier, but without the pissy undertone, because to me, why I'm struggling with Scandale, both Scandale Simple and Scandale by Night from Jean-Paul Gaultier, I feel like both, the honey accord there has a slight animalic edge to it. And animalic in the sense that it smells like urine, at least on my skin few hours in. So yeah, that kind of honey, it's a bit too much for me. This kind of honey is just enough for me. Yeah, amazing fragrance. Again, if you are based in Europe, you can look up samples and decants of this one on Dubai collection. They ship almost everywhere in Europe. Okay, so let's move on to the next fragrance. This is Instant Crush from Mancera. Let me just show you how much I have used it. Now again, if you have been watching my videos for a while, I think you know that this for me it's a staple in my collection. I love it. I wear it all year round. I think it shines all year round. Maybe some might find it a bit too suffocating in very high heat. To me, it's just like strong enough without being suffocating for people around me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this, you guys, every time I smell it, to me it smells like a gingerbread house. Like legit a gingerbread house with a slight ambery, translucent, powdery, vanillic, soft woody like feel, you know, with lots of saffron in the opening, lots of ginger, not the freshly cut ginger, you know. It's not like energizing, revigorating, refreshing. I feel like more the powdered ginger, you know. I feel like it has that type of ginger here. Yeah, it smells like a gingerbread house. I love the smell of it. I love to wear it. Again, this is a true beast mode fragrance in my opinion. You don't need a lot of sprays. Believe me, I made the mistake to overspray it, and for instance, my mother told me that she finds it too suffocating, and she finds it hard to breathe when I was around her and I sprayed like too many sprays of this fragrance, you know. It was warm outside, so yeah, I have to admit. But I feel like now, if let's just say the temperatures start to drop a little bit, I don't think it will be too suffocating, neither for you, neither for people around you. So yes, if you want something that's like a true beast mode, this one. Let's just say maybe you don't want to spend the money at the moment on the fragrance from Mancera, or you like the DNA but you don't want something as loud. Perhaps you want something that's a bit, still performs great but not as beast mode, you know, to the level of Instant Crush from Mancera. Then I would recommend you to try again, test for yourself, Super Crush from Paris Corner. This is, of course, like the name suggests, it's an inspiration of Instant Crush. Like when I smell them, like when I tell you that they are the same to my nose, the only thing is this one is a tad more alcoholic, whereas this one, I don't find it alcoholic at all. But besides this, you guys, like they are so similar, like so similar. Again, I have a video where I go in depth about it. But basically, this again smells like a gingerbread house, slightly more softer, slightly with some facets that are more muted. But if you're looking for a dupe of Instant Crush, to me it's an amazing dupe. Amazing dupe. Okay, guys, so we got to the last fragrance for today's video. I wanted to close this video with spicier fragrances. These are the fragrances that I love the most. I mean, not just spicy fragrances, but I love spices in general. Now, please be aware, spices can come up in very different types of scent families, you know. Not all spices smell the same. I have a video, what a video? I don't remember. Oh, I have a video where I review some fragrance oils from Ibn al-Jiburi, where I go in depth about the different types of spices in fragrances and what kind of effect they give, so yeah. But let's close the video with a fragrance that I know a lot of you love. This one is Khamrah by Lattafa. Yeah, I feel like, especially now, this is the time for this kind of fragrance, honestly. This smells like McDonald's apple juice to me, with some cinnamons. Like imagine you have a glass, you put some like McDonald's apple juice, you put there some cinnamon, you like give it a good stir, you maybe put in some dates, I don't know, but like a warm glass of apple juice, you know. Because this one has warmth, it has density to it, it has richness at the same time. You do get, I know it has listed some ambery facets. To me, the ambery feel, this is not like a true ambery forward fragrance. The amber accord, what it does here in this fragrance, to me, it gives the feeling of warmth, of like heat to the fragrance, you know. Yeah, again, beautiful fragrance. And now that I said that I will finish the video with this fragrance, I want to say that I was thinking to start a layering series on my channel. You know, I love to layer fragrances, I love to come up with all kinds of layering combos. I know you love as well my layering suggestions, and someone left me an amazing video idea. I will look for the comment and I will insert it here. Basically, the person suggested me to get a fragrance and to give like multiple layering ideas. So the first fragrance that I want to give multiple layering ideas in a future video is Khamrah, because the thing is with this fragrance, it got very popular. I feel like extremely popular, to the point where like for a few months it was like impossible to find it, you know. And I got pretty good feedback on it. But the thing is, some women told me they love it, some women told me that they feel the need to layer it with something, some men told me that they love it, some men told me that they find it too feminine. So I was thinking to start my layering series with Khamrah by Lattafa, and to give you different layering suggestions, especially now that we are getting closer to autumn. Fragrance layering suggestions for men, for women, for everyone, you know. So in case you have this fragrance but maybe you would like to play a little bit with it, I will give you some of my suggestions. Okay, so this is everything I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Please like the video, it would help me a lot. Let me know what are some fragrances that you love to wear during this transitional period. I would love to know that as well. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever